What's up, Falcon Nation? Steve Leslie, YSNLive.com with your initial Fitch Falcon night on Wednesday night. Sam's Wedge Inn. Cannot thank Mark Presley, Donnie Sherwood, and the crew here. Great crowd at Sam's Wedge Inn. They will be the home of Austintown Fitch football. Falcon fans, you can watch the game against Strongsville Friday night. We'll have it on YSN. Come on over, have a great time. Watch the football game and support a great place here in Sam's Wedge Inn. Great food, great hospitality, and the home of Austintown Fitch. Proud to be joined by my partner, Anthony Romo, and the head football coach of the Austintown Fitch Falcons, TJ Parker. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks. I'm excited to finally get this going. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, this is exciting. That's what I wanted to ask you from your end. Went to Fitch, played at Fitch, now the head coach at Fitch. The hospitality here is off the charts. Those guys follow Fitch Falcon football and athletics. How special is that for you to know each week? I know I'm thrilled, and Anthony is, to be a part of your program, promote it. It's a football team that, in my opinion, there's a lot of work left to do, a lot of great things that this football team can do, and we're looking forward to promoting. On your end, how special is it for you?
Oh, I mean, the guys who run this place, they are Fitch football. They're our history. Those guys are all friends of mine, but more importantly, they're on our sidelines. They're the head of our booster club. They're our stat crew. They're the guys who don't want any recognition and just really care about our team, our community, and building that up. So, I mean, anytime we can, find a way to incorporate them and give back, it's pretty special.
Yeah, no doubt. Shout out to you guys. Thanks for all you do. I'm looking forward to being here every week, having some outstanding food with Anthony Romo. Ant, you were at the Massillon game, I guess. Questions for Coach and talk about what a great atmosphere, number one. Now.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to get into first before we even talk about the play. I was able to go down to Massillon on Friday since Ursuline played on Saturday. One down on Ty Bartell, who does a great job for Fitch. We got to say that before we get into anything. Shout out, Ty. You do a great job with everything at Fitch. So you have some collegiate coaching history in your tenure. Going to Massillon is like playing at a small college in a way. Before we get into the play, just how cool was that for you guys to be able to be part of a game like that in front of a crowd like that that has so much tradition like you guys do as well?
I'll say this. I don't know, maybe Mountain Union or some of the Texas schools, but I don't think there's small colleges that pack that place like Massillon does.
Yeah.
To start. But that's why we play the game. We know they're a really tough team, but, the lessons and the value that comes out of that game, the environment, the history, all of that only helps our kids grow. I mean, right from the start, it's intense. You feel it. The people on the field, I mean, they looked, and there was college coaches laced sideline to sideline. Coming up to them, they see it. That brings jitterbugs that, we played plenty of home games this year. It's kind of comfortable, and that's what we want. And those are moments that our kids will take with them for the rest of their lives, and that's what we're proud of about most importantly, of our program.
Yeah, great atmosphere on hand Friday night. A great game as well. You guys won up against not only one of the best teams in Division II, but one of the best teams in the state. Talk about coming into the game hot. They had beat St. Ed's the week prior. But you got to give them credit. They did a good job neutralizing your run game, which you guys kind of built your identity on this year. But with that being said, junior quarterback DeShawn Vaughn had himself a night. 3 passing touchdowns. The first one that really had to calm him down was that touchdown to Jayden Eley on the 3rd down and long, rolled out to his right, found Eley. Just talk about his growth from week 1 to now when he was starting his first varsity quarterback game.
Yeah, I think with a lot of our guys, you can learn from DeShawn in playing your game, playing to who you are. You graduate a quarterback like Devin Sherwood who can do some special things, throw it all over the place. And as we went in the summer, we went to 7-on-7s, and there were times there where our offense and DeShawn expected it to be like it was when Devin was there. And we struggled, and we learned from it. And then as we put the pads on and we got going, it was how can we, kind of formulate an offense from DeShawn's strengths, which could be different from Devin's. And once he figured that out, I mean, he's taken care of the ball. It's been, knock on wood, but 6 games now with no turnovers on his end. He's making the right decisions. He's using his legs when he has to, and then making the right reads. And if it's not there, he's protecting the ball and giving us another shot. And his growth, he put in a lot of hard work. And I think for him, it was understanding like what that position means to play at Fitch, and how much is on your shoulders as the quarterback at Fitch High School.
And you have to say that playing in front of a crowd like you did last week, or any big crowd, being a Division II school, of course you guys are going to play in some very big crowds on the road just because some of these communities are bigger in the schools you're playing. You have to say that the quarterback awareness that DeShawn Vaughn has and his ability to not force passes and to keep that home crowd out of the game like he did for a while when you guys had the ball on Friday, it really has to boost your team's morale and keep them in the game when the crowd is not on their backs.
Yeah, I mean, that moment when DeShawn hit Jayden Eley was a special moment for our team and growth, just because if you go back and you watch some of our games, our opening play, we've had a lot of positive plays this year, very few negative plays, which is a sign of a good offense. But we've opened up a lot of games taking run reliefs. And first play out of the gate, Massillon's corner comes on a blitz and completely blows up
the screen.
Dan Evans, the screen. And from there, it was like, whoa, we hadn't seen that on film. You know, that was their adjustment. It was a good adjustment. It was a great call by them. And then it was like, okay, coach, this is now different. And then you come, they score. Now this is an unfamiliar position for us again. We're down. And for him to come back, get out of the pocket, use his legs, make that throw, Jayden to make a tough contested catch, finish it. And then later in the game, they ran the same cover too, and he hit Jayden Eley on the sidelines in the whole shot. Like, those are things that you didn't see earlier in the summer that wasn't – we talked about it at half about them adjusting to cover two and taking that whole shot, and he ripped it in there. And those are growth moments that you're only going to get by a team that puts you in those situations. And the way he responded is something that we're very proud of as a staff.
Yeah, no doubt. With Coach Parker, Coach's Corner here at Sam's Wedge Inn. Cannot thank the boys from Sam's Wedge Inn enough for their hospitality. Awful proud. I know Anthony and myself will be here every Wednesday night from 7 to 8. Coach, I know you pretty well, so I love doing these good teams, which there's no doubt in my mind you guys are one of those teams that I put in the upper echelon to continue on. I love ground and pound. I love watching those two run the ball. I want to ask you, because a really good team handles adversity when they get a chance to watch it the next day. As a football team, as a coaching staff, that's where you were at with the game with Massillon.
Right.
Fair to say that?
Yeah. I mean, we had to look ourselves in the mirror. That's exactly what we talked about Sunday. I mean, they took things away, and in areas, you know, quite honestly, they were better than us. So we have to find ways to win, and I think that was our foot moving forward. We can't sulk in our losses and pout about it. We have to move forward, and I think that's something at practice the kids have done. They
Absolutely.
Really have.
And I think that's a great answer on your end, because I'll say it to Falcon Nation, you play the best schedule or one of the best schedules in the state of Ohio. I think we talked off air. Division II, Region 5. Put them in a hat, line up and play. Division III, Region 9, put them in a hat. Those two divisions could combine and win a lot of state championships at a lot of levels. That's just my opinion on it. But for you guys, I love the ground game. But DeShawn has done such a great job that good teams aren't going to be able to focus on those guys to stop. But Massillon was able to do it. Tip your cap, like you said. But I think the continuation of your offense, Evans and the skill guys on the perimeter, it's a really good pass game, and I give the young man a lot of credit. And you said it best. There's only one Sherwood that played, and you were able to coach. You can't emulate a season and try to be like he was or do what he's typed to do. I think that DeShawn has really grown into the leader. When I did the Ursuline game, I watched him grow, walking out to the huddle, talking to people. Talk about this offensive line, because I think it's outstanding. And maybe learn some things against Massillon, but I think that's one of the strengths of your football team.
Yeah, we got two of them here today, and you know, you'll see Rocco. He's a 2-year starter for us, and that's who we are. Josh Fitzgerald is our biggest offensive lineman, and I think he lost some weight. He's sitting about maybe 250, 260.
That's what people don't understand. They associate Fitch with being massive 300. No. There's guys that are playing on the line of scrimmage that are both of 200 to 230.
Yes. And they're just tough,
hard-nosed
Their
kids.
assignment sound.
Sure. And
they play to the whistle, and they take pride in it. And
Absolutely.
I think that's, those guys up front, I can't, tell you how dedicated they are to being all the other guys in our units kind of get the shine. That we have all these guys on the outside. We have these guys in the backfield. Yep. We've had these quarterbacks. Like, no one wants to talk about the offense.
We joke about it all the time. It's not a glamour position.
No.
You're not getting any accolades unless it's from your own line coach and your staff. That's about all you're getting. Mom and dad, that's about it.
Exactly. And they take pride in it.
Sure.
And, it's great to see because they're honestly the best teammates on our team.
Yeah, no question.
And I'll tell you what, this is so fun this week. It's always fun being the first week to be able to cover team here at Sam's Washington because we get to dive into everything.
Yeah.
So we talked about the quarterback play, wide receivers, offensive line. We are saving arguably the most powerful part of this offense, the running back duo of DJ Williams and Jamell James. They complement each other so well. Just talk a little bit about what you see the differences between their two games that make them such a good duo because they can keep defenses off guard.
I think when you look at them both, overall as running backs, I just think you look at them, and if I was playing against them, they're both scary.
Yeah.
You know, they both have speed. They both have power. They both can catch. In general, they're both scary. So I think at the high school level, when you're looking at them both, there's not that many differences between the two. But when you really get in depth on both of them, Jamell has a unique ability. He's so big that in space, he has real quick feet and can make you miss, and he'll go. Very quick in short space. DJ is kind of your Nick Chubb.
Gonna run you over.
Yeah, but he'll shock you because you won't ever see DJ dance. But then you watch him run, and there's guys arm tackle, and he runs through it. He just gets you off balance enough, and they're hard, powerful cuts, and then he has a turbo on him that is pretty special. So their vision is good. They're two special kids, but what makes them special and where they've grown that I think, is a credit to both of them, but a credit to their growth, is each other and how they work with each other. We live in a day and age where people want the ball consistently all the time, and you have two elite backs that, I would challenge anyone would start at any school in the area.
That's fair.
And they're both at the same school, sharing carries, sharing touchdowns. And when all the accolades come out, that makes things hard. And they do it for each other. They do it for the team. And if you talk to anyone on our program, that wasn't easy. They both had to learn, and there were some tough times. But the way they work together now, it's special and something that I know those two feed off of daily.
With Coach Parker here, Coach's Corner, Sam's Wedge in, Mark Presley, Donnie Sherwood, and the crew. Thanks again for having us. We look forward to being a part of Austintown Fitch football the rest of the way through the playoffs and the long run that this Falcon team will make. Going to go to Strongsville. We'll talk about that Friday night. We'll have it on ysnlive.com for Falcon fans that cannot come. I recommend come on over to Sam's Wedge in and watch the game. Coach, you brought something that I love to hear. I'm a big mannerism guy. It's not a sharing world, if that's okay to say. I don't see that from your offense. And that's a tribute to you and your staff. You hit it right on the head. Everybody wants the ball every play. Yeah. Every good offense is not one guy, not two guys. It's 4 or 5 guys that you guys have that can hit that long one at any time. So that's a credit to you. Defensively, I think it could be so good. So talented, big play, big, long. Talk about this defensive progress. I think for Austintown Fitch fans, they haven't seen the real quality Fitch defense yet. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think with us, it's a matchup thing.
Sure.
It really is.
A size thing. When you're going against size, it's hard to go with.
Yeah, if we have the ability to hold the line, but the schedule we play and some of the teams,
doesn't dictate that.
They demand that, and they come right at us. And those are hard lessons we have to learn. We have to learn how to take on box. We have to learn, holding our gaps and playing with each other. But then there's other matchups where we kind of can get away with some things and stemming and our secondary this year, they've really been great. Those guys in the back.
Yeah, we're going to talk to a young man that's pretty special on the back end. I called his name an awful lot in the Ursa game. Your staff, a lot of guys that I know, a lot of guys that have coached a lot of football. I could just tell sitting here with you, you love representing Austintown Fitch as the head coach. Talk about your staff a little bit. They're those guys that you talk about that don't get any of the accolades. Let's be honest, it's it's a sad world we live in. If when a team wins, it's the kids. When a team loses, it's the coach. Yeah, and I have a hard time with that because I have friendships with all these guys that I don't give up their time for families that they're not with because they're with your football family. Talk about your staff a little bit.
I mean, I can't tell you how hardworking and dedicated.
It's a 7-day-a-week job, correct? I mean,
it actually is for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I make them come in on Saturdays,
right.
And then our varsity meets on Sunday evenings. But just the dedication and the want to be great by these guys, it makes for an intense room, a growing room, and again, like nothing worth it is ever easy, but we're all together. And just kind of back up each other. There's a lot of Fitch Falcons in there.
Absolutely.
And then there's a lot of people who are in that room who are proud to be Fitch Falcons.
That's a great answer.
And that's what.
And an intense coach's room is a good one.
Oh.
Not everybody should agree on everything that's talked about. That's
exactly
the quality of coaches, Anthony. We talk about that all the time.
We do.
Quality coach team, that's a tribute to you. Just wanted to shout out your entire coaching staff for all they do for you and the Fitch community and those football players.
You must be a golfer if you know a lot of them.
Yeah, I do golf.
A lot of them.
You have a lot of golfers, so the summertime they're hard to get your hands on, and you got to work around the boys.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, shout out to them. Golf's a good sport. Keep playing.
Now that we're talking about defense, I want to go back to last week real quick. A play that really stuck out to me early on in the game was Massillon was trying to take the lead. They were driving into Fitch territory. Slaughter dropped back, looking for the end zone. Davion Pritchard comes out of nowhere and picks off the pass. Where it kind of didn't work out in your guys' favor because he was right in front of the goal line, so you're set up on your 1-yard line. But I think that play was so big because there are so many different guys on your defense that can step up and make a play, like on the offensive side. Talk about how big that play was for you guys. There were a couple plays in that game that kind of silenced the crowd. To keep Massillon out of the end zone there and to set you guys up with the ball and a tie game, that had to be one of those big momentum plays to kind of get it back in your favor a little bit.
Yeah, I yelled at Davion for not staying in the end zone. He should have fell in the end zone and got it on the 1-yard line, and that was
those
tough.
Aren't fun for the offense to go out on the one.
But that kid, I think he's one of the most underrated kids on our football team in this area, and the way we play defense put a lot of stress on those guys in the secondary.
Of course.
And I think when you are playing against Fitch, the answer sometimes is if they're going to give us this coverage, we're going to throw it on them.
Yeah.
And that Ardell Banks kid the week before completely lit up St. Ed's, but it was something that we had to live with. We had to put guys in the box to stop the run, and just in that moment making that play, I think let our team know, let Davion Pritchard know, and let everyone know we're here to play a football game.
Of course.
We're here to try to win this game. And sometimes there's moments in that game where you're like, wow, these guys are good, and you're going against them. And then someone steps up and makes a game-changing play like that changes momentum. That was special for our team and for him. And then I don't know how special it actually turned out because then later in the game they try to throw another pass.
Yep.
We picked that one off. And then finally their sideline, someone turned to someone and said,
quit throwing the damn ball.
We're not putting the ball in the air again.
I was just going to say that because they ran the ball 64 times as a team.
64 times.
And I would say that your secondary did a great job for what they could, staying ready for the pass.
He might be the best receiver in the state of Ohio.
He's one of
he's up in that top tier.
Yes.
And Massillon kept hurting themselves offensively throwing the ball. They really did. I think they only threw it 11 times, but 2 drives where they were driving down the field, they let you guys right back in that ball game. So I got to give a lot of credit to your secondary for staying alert and being ready for the pass when Massillon was trying to catch you guys off guard.
Yeah, we'll have Cam on, too, later on here. He's another one that leads your secondary. With Coach Parker, Sam's Wedge in, the home of the Falcons. We're going to get to Strongsville. Falcon Nation, I'm going to tell you this right now. Don't sleep on the record because they play a schedule. They play a big-time schedule. They have D1 recruits scattered throughout the field. It's a good football game, but it's also a game that I think Austintown Fitch will do very well in. You can watch it on YSN Live if you can't make it Friday night. My man Ty Bartell will be on the call from Strongsville. I recommend coming over here to Sam's Wedge Inn for some great food, a great atmosphere, and the home of the Falcons the rest of the way. So shout out to them. Talk about Strongsville a little bit for Falcon Nation.
Yeah, I think, like you mentioned, their record is deceiving. They're a 2-4 team, but the opponents that they've lost to, their overall record is 20-4.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
another easy day in Falcon Land, right?
Exactly.
But again, the schedule
sets them up
sets
like
you
you
up
guys
for
get set
what
up.
you're trying to do.
Right.
For you, I know you love playing the best of the best. It's not a sprint. It's a journey of football seasons for you, I know. And this is a great opportunity for this group as a whole to bounce back and in my opinion, get a good statement win on the road against a Division I football team.
Yeah, I think it's Youngstown football versus
Cleveland
that greater
football.
Cleveland area. Yeah, they're in a tough conference and they're respected in their conference. Like you mentioned, they got an offensive tackle who's committed to Pitt. Their quarterback is probably going to be a future D1 kid. He's only a sophomore, but got a cannon for an arm. They have a defensive end, outside linebacker. Last year they sent a tackle to Clemson, so it's like it's in there. Clemson's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
It's in there. They have players, but we got to show up and we got to play. And I know they have the ability with their roster and their size. If they're watching last week's tape, they're going to say, "Hey, we're going to come right at this team, and we're going to make them prove that they can stop the run." But they're primarily shown recently with the quarterback that they have. They're a spread 5-wide team, so it'll be interesting to see how they try to attack us, and then be interesting to see how our kids respond to the adversity and bouncing back. And a team that can get in double tights and run it at you, what are we going to do?
Yeah, I can say that Strongsville is kind of coming in this game like you guys are. They played Cleveland Heights last week, who has yet to lose a game this season, and they are just as athletic as the Massillon team that you played last week is. So, I mean, I definitely say that both teams are really going to be coming out a little bit gritty with a little bit something to prove this upcoming Friday.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned it to our kids over and over. If you don't believe that, they're over in their locker room saying, this is a game we can get. This is a big statement win for our season. It can turn their season around.
Of course.
That's what it's being said over there, and we're going to have to come to play Friday night to come out of there with a win.
Well, there's no doubt the Falcons will come ready to play. Coach, I look forward to so many of these. I know we're awful proud to be a part of Austintown Fitch Football, your program, promote the great young men that we'll have coming up. On behalf of Anthony and myself, we wish you nothing but the best. And, again, thanks to Sam's Wedge Inn for all they do for us. Come on over and watch the game Friday night if you can't get over. But if you can't get over there, Falcon Nation, they need you. Strongsville, 7 o'clock. Coach, best of luck, and we look forward to talking about the dub next week.
Thank you, guys, for doing this, putting this together for us. Really appreciate it.